Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Well, here we are, starting a new season, or very soon too. I mean, after Labor Day, we talk about the summer being over. We still got a couple of weeks left, but the mindset is right after Labor Day, the car turns a little bit. And you might be thinking, well, this is a fresh start for me. I can, move in a different direction. But maybe you're not, or you're not even sure you can, because something is holding you back. What's holding you back? We started talking about this last week. We're going to pick up from last week and dig deeper into this. She's an amazing psychotherapist and helps so many people with this and so much more, whether it's relationships, individuals, moving their lives forward professionally, personally. Susie Engel is back on the program, and so great to have you back. How you doing today?
I'm fine, Steve. Thank you. I'm always so happy to speak with you. So I hope the audience is enjoying all this. It's just like broadening perspectives, taking a shift in maybe what you think is the surface understanding and looking underneath a little bit deeper. So I'm doing really well today, by the way, too. And I like your intro because I do think, when school restarts, it feels like part of another new year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not just January 1st.
It's kind of weird in a way. I don't think any other seasons, well, it's not a season, but it's a holiday, but I don't think many other holidays feel this way other than New Year's Day. It's almost like a complete shift. And I'm going to transparent here. Have been saying for the past 2 months, then a month, like, yeah, I'll take care of that after the summer's over. Yeah, I'm just going to enjoy summer more, and then I'll take care of that, and make that plan, and then execute this and get this done. Well, here I am. I don't see any movement. I don't anticipate any either. That's the challenge. It's something I believe is holding me back from a couple of different projects. I admit it. I don't know what it is. I'm starting to have an idea of what it is. But maybe it's a recap. What typically holds us back?
I think that people, and we're always going back to childhood. It's the foundation, it's the paradigm of experiences, it's the beginnings of information networks. Our brain has many structures in it that starts information networks, whether we're talking about relationship or whether we're talking about, goal setting or whatever it might be. What is our mindset and our information networks about all this? And I think that unconsciously we develop certain messages from simple, average experiences, but all children internalize things personally until, and it also, we talked briefly about this, it also depends if we have a certain experience, and I'm not making this up. I think it's in Francine Shapiro. She founded EMDR, but she wrote this really user-friendly book called Getting Past Your Past. And I think it's in that book where she gives an example. If you were at a family outing at a park and your child, and I'm embellishing the story, but let's say we all say, like, it's going to be a great day. We're going to be able to have lunch together, and there's lots of activities at the park. And the child wanders and falls into the deep end of the pool. So the scenario is this. The parent realizes that the child falls into the pool. The kid automatically feels fear, like that I'm scared to death stuff. And the parent jumps in the pool and helps the child. And it's either one or two. I comfort my child and say, it was an accident. Let's go back and continue our day. You're all right. And later we're even going to play in the shallow end. Or I could jump in the pool and rescue my child and scream at the kid and just say, what were you thinking? how could you go near the pool? And we're talking about little children, like pre-swimming age, right? And being scolded in their face for having an accident or being curious about something. So that child would interpret, I am bad. When I am
Mm.
curious, maybe I should hold back. Remember, I always feel like I imagine somebody pinning me against a wall, or if I'm vertical against something. Um, so here we have the beginnings of some sort of information network. Like, oh, I'm curious, I'm free to explore the world, and I feel good about myself. That's the parent who rescues and says, it was just an accident. We're going to have a good day. Or the second one, which starts this, I am bad, I'm not good enough, I'm all sorts of negative stuff. Does that make sense?
Crystal clear. And I try to imagine myself being that parent. Now, two things at play here. You don't want to yell at your kid, but you also want to make sure that they know that that is not something that they should be doing, hanging out on the deep end and just kind of jumping in. How would you handle that so that you enforce that it's kind of important
Yeah.
that you don't do that,
So
but you don't want to yell at them?
no, I love that question. It's like, it's also another aspect of teaching. First, you're teaching the kid, be curious, explore. This is fantastic. It was just an accident. We're giving the child perspective without internalizing the I am bad stuff and these negative self-worth and wounded self-worth. And then, guess what an adaptive parent would do? An adaptive parent would say, once we're all settled and we're breathing again and our 2 feet are on the ground, here, hold my hand. Let's walk around the pool. You see down this end where you fell in, it's really deep and you haven't had swim lessons. But look at all the people in the pool who know how to swim. You're going to learn how to swim
Mm.
too. And then, it's got to be deep enough because there's a diving board. Now let's walk around the rest of the pool. And what do you notice? And the kid might be talking about all the things that child might be noticing. And then you get to the shallow and you can say, see, there are steps here. But the other thing is, we have to go in together until you are given permission to go swim in the pool without me. So you're teaching a lot of good things, and it doesn't need to come to this shaming experience that then when they're our age, these people are held back from living their lives or doing what their to-do list is, or however we're going to move forward in this conversation.
I love that. And well, of course, as parents, you don't know that it, now I do, but you don't know that it's going to potentially impact your child in the future, the way you deal with a situation like that. And that's one of those situations where the child is already scared. They're underwater. So there's a trauma already taking place. Now, if you compound that
Yes.
trauma by yelling at them and like, oh gosh, that's something that probably hold with most kids probably forever.
Not forever. I mean, they come to therapy and they work it through. But the other thing also is, I like what you're pointing out, which I've not mentioned, is at least today yet, is this. The child was already scared to death. So the child already learned something.
Mm.
That's called a natural consequence. Like, oh, maybe next time I am interested in this, I'll go get my mom or dad or caregiver and hold their hand and move forward with it or what have you. Because lots of kids learn so quickly from natural. So it's not like we have to triple down and punish the kid or anything like that. I mean, I worked with a teenager once who just had gotten her driver's license. And I don't know if I've told this story before, but she was on her way to her appointment with me and got pulled over and ticketed for texting while driving. And,
Mm.
the parents started emailing me, but I didn't look at my email because I usually have back-to-back clients. So the teenager came in and she was explaining what happened. And I said, so how was it? She said, Susan, I figured out from now on, I'm going to lock my phone or purse and phone in the trunk and then just check it when I get to wherever I'm going. And I was like, good for you, good for you. In the meantime, she comes back the next week. Her parents didn't even listen to what she had learned from this experience. And her parents tripled down on her with consequences. I mean, the consequence was she got pulled over. I mean, that's pretty scary for a 16-year-old. And she got a ticket, and she probably had to pay out of her own savings and all this. But the parents doubled down on that or tripled down with consequences. And guess what? This kid became angry with her parents and
Mm.
didn't lock her pocketbook. She totally forgot about her plan for the future. She was more like, oh, I'm so angry because now I'm grounded and this and that.
Mm.
And she had already learned.
Yeah. Yeah. And there could have been a bigger consequence, i.e., an accident. So she got pulled over, got a ticket. You never forget your first ticket.
Although I do tend to get I don't want to announce that, but it's more for speeding than I don't text and drive. I would not be here on this earth if I texted.
Listen, I got a speeding ticket in 1999, and I still remember it vividly. And it was a comedy of errors and whatever, but I don't forget it. And
Oh, I remember my first speeding ticket now that you mention it. Yeah.
you learned right from that point forward. So it's a shame her parents, they meant well, but they didn't realize that
No.
the job was already done.
And they
Job was already
didn't
done.
mean well. They were just fear-based and controlling.
Well,
And
when I say mean well, I mean they
they didn't
wanted,
intend for it to backfire.
or they're just concerned for her safety. They didn't
Oh,
realize that
well,
she
then
already
say
got it.
that. Then say that. Say,
Okay.
oh my gosh, we love you so much. We don't know what would happen if you were texting and got into a car crash and were killed or hurt somebody, and we wouldn't want you to go through that the rest of your life. That's all a parent needs to express. They don't need to say, here are 3 other consequences because we don't think you're intelligent enough to figure this one out, even though she
Mhm.
already figured it out. So I do agree. If it were well intentioned that the parents need to know how to express what I just said. We love you so much, and it would be such a tragedy had something worse happened.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's enough.
it's also having faith in your child and in yourself as a parent, that you've set the groundwork for when a situation arises that your child is gonna, or teen is gonna, do the right thing. And it seems that
Yes.
this girl did. She took
She was
steps.
fantastic. The parents were spinning. And the thing is, I love what you just said. It's about trusting. So now that brings us back to our topic. Our
Mm.
topic is what's holding us back. And so a lot of it, whether it's those negative belief systems that start early, so now we have a foundation of that. But a lot of that undermines trusting ourselves and
Mm.
our parents trusting us, we trusting our parents from infancy up. And if we don't trust ourselves, something is holding us back from being productive or fueling procrastination or whatever that is as well. So I like the issue of trust to circle back with our original topic.
So I wanna go a layer or two deeper here. Let's say you've got a goal, and
Yeah.
whatever it is, we could even think, a side hustle. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna make a little extra money, got a little idea here, maybe you're gonna partner with a friend or whatever, and you've got this goal. It hasn't really moved along, and you
Yeah.
feel that maybe something is holding you back, but you haven't identified what the something is.
Yeah.
Could it be as simple as, sounds like a good idea, but you're not fully vested in it? Like you're not feeling the passion of making this work. It was just like, yeah, it's an idea. I'm trying to identify a fear that's holding back, or you're just not as, listen, if it was your purpose or if it was something that you're very passionate about, you'd have that fuel to keep pushing you forward. But how do you identify that what it is, whether it's that, whether it's fear, are there questions you can ask yourself?
Well, I think that you have to, I think if you have a idea that you're excited about to begin with, and nothing is really happening, or it's not launching, or maybe it's got something to do with the chemistry of the person you're working with,
Hmm.
or what have you.
Sure.
I think that all those questions are valuable, but the bottom line is this: if you have I think that people who feel healthy self-worth um, have figured out their negativity that they've carried, and where they've been informed of that, and it's those people's issues, not our issues. I think once we clean all that out, if we have a great side hustle idea, it's very simple to move forward. We may not go as quickly, it may take longer just because we all have busy lives and everything takes longer to do. Because really, everything falls on the individuals now with technology. Now we
Mhm.
have to do everything, there's no customer service or anything. Um, but I also think that we have to look at our fears. You use the emotion fears just now. Is it just that it wasn't such a great idea? Well, we could rationalize that. I mean, we could rationalize anything. But am I afraid unconsciously that might be what's fueling the emotion of fear, might fuel feeling held back, and also rationalizing and talking ourselves out of all sorts of great ideas. I mean, I just feel like it's a very defeatist attitude, but I think that that comes from way back and it's reinforced throughout life, unless you have a really great support network to be able to process situations and say, oh yes, it's not personal. I don't have to internalize all these events in my life. I can move forward and still be successful in my own eyes, but fear is a big one.
Do you think
Yeah.
there's a lot of, you said processing, a lot of value in journaling so you can see, like even in this situation, let's say maybe you've tried a couple of different versions of this idea. It hasn't really taken off, and now you're wondering what's up, what's going on there. Maybe it's the universe's way of saying it's not going to, not really for you. But
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
trying to identify what it is that might be
Yeah.
holding you back.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's the universe necessarily in my viewpoint, or my experience. If I have a goal, if I have an idea, I usually think it's a great idea and I usually find ways to. Have you ever read the book Effective Habits of Seven Habits of Highly Effective, Stephen Covey, of
Yeah.
highly effective
But
people?
it's
I
it's
think
it's
that
time
book
to
is
revisit
just,
that book. Personally, I've been hearing that title come up recently. It's been around quite some time,
oh,
but yeah, it's a
it,
good one.
it's a beautiful book. It is timeless and it's priceless. And it really speaks to the psychology of setting goals and understanding yourself and understanding your worth. And I think part of why it's hard for us to kind of pinpoint this conversation is because when we speak about fear, when we speak about subtle experiences that inform us of our self-worth one way or another, not intended, but just because of the way we internalize experiences, if we don't process with five friends, or if we don't process with 12 people in our support network, we might just have that private time to spin and get negative about ourselves. And in contrast, we could pretty much say, how can I say that I have a false belief? It feels true, but I have a false belief that I am not secure enough, or smart enough, or creative enough, or worthy. Those are all negative beliefs that are falsehoods but feel true? And how do we kind of tease that away so that we are no longer held back? To me, that is the process. There's a little fruit fly, a little plant gnat.
I'm playing
You're
that.
like,
I've never
we
heard
can't
that.
see it, Susie. We
Nope.
cannot see it.
Sure, it's a plant, Matt. Sure it is. Sure it is.
Yeah.
I guess all of this comes down to discovery, talking with somebody like yourself to bring these things into the forefront that could be holding you back. Maybe journaling, writing it down so it's in your face,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I like journaling I don't often suggest it. I listen to my clients, and if they tell me they love to express themselves in different ways, whether it's through art or journaling or this or that, that's when I suggest start writing about it. Don't have an agenda. Just let it flow. And then they come to these discoveries. And also, for people who procrastinate, I always suggest to them, whether they enjoy journaling or not, I say write a goodbye love letter, because procrastination is like self-harm. There's no difference between drinking yourself to oblivion so you don't get anything done, or any other self-destructive behaviors that people do. Procrastination is right there.
Oh, yeah.
And writing a goodbye love letter is beautiful. Like, dear procrastination, these are all the things I've loved about you for all these years. And this is how you're hurting me. I've had clients who write, so I didn't even know they could write. They wrote the most beautiful goodbye love letters to procrastination. And it works because they remember the last half of, the first half is how it helped and was enjoyable. The second was how it was harmful.
I love that. We're going to end on that point. What a fantastic idea. And I've heard, before, maybe even a while back, we've talked about writing a letter, forgiveness, writing a letter to somebody you never deliver, but it helps you move past, rip it up, burn it up, whatever it is, throw it to the universe. But the love letter, goodbye to procrastination. We have relationships with everything, money, people, procrastination. What a great idea. I love that. I can see how impactful that would be if you are intentional and take the time to write it as if you're writing it to somebody.
Yes.
This is just a piece of what you
To
offer.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're writing it to yourself, essentially.
That's worth everything.
For sure. Your website is very simple to find. It is your name, and that is susanengel-lcsw.com.
Yes. Licensed clinical
Clinical social
worker.
worker. And
Woo-hoo,
Engel is
social workers.
Engel. I finally remembered.
That's pretty good.
Thank you so much for today. You always come up with, I'm actually going to write myself that letter to procrastination. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
share that idea with so many, because so many I know are dealing with that right now. It's just a great idea.
It's amazing.
You are, and I appreciate that. Love you,
Thank you
and
very much.
thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Steve.
I see that fly now, by the way.
Thank you. I figured, I think I saw it go right by the camera.
It did, and it looked
It looks so happy.
larger than life. All right, get that
Well,
thing.
I'm not crazy.
No, you're
Well,
not.
I'm good crazy.
Good crazy. All right, we'll catch up next time.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.